Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Joseph?
Good. How you doing?
My name's Robert Cray. I'm a detective at the sheriff's office.
Okay.
I'm doing some follow-up on a case. Do you recall Mr. Richard English?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Can I get your last name, Joseph?
Yeah, it's Lieberman. L. You can step in the shade if you
I'm
want.
okay. It's actually pretty nice out.
Yeah, whatever.
Thank you.
Lieberman.
And what's your date of birth?
December 3rd, 1971.
Oh, perfect. That works better for me. Six 400-6321. Is that your cell phone?
That's where I could reach, yes.
Okay, perfect. Are you 661? Are you from Lancaster, Antelope Valley, or?
No, I got this phone a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I went the phone number at AT&T store whenever I was, working out there years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from the 661
I
area
keep
code.
the same number for consistency.
So, just a few minutes of your time.
Sure.
Do you know Mr. Richard English?
Yes.
How do you know Mr. Richard English?
I met him. Time passes quickly, but it was several years ago. I've been knowing him for a lifetime. Let's say, I don't know. It seems like maybe half a dozen years. I don't know, maybe less. But I wouldn't say exact. But I've known him a few years. I met him working on a project. We were putting in some signs at the Pepperdine University.
So you met him at a work project?
Yeah.
Do you do construction?
Well, my trade is gemologist. Jewelry manufacturing is my preferred thing. But the whole economy, the world changed. You got to adjust. But I'm handy, and now I'm putting my time into our home.
Nice.
I do have worked, on and off for one of the local jewelers here.
So you met him several years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you recall when he moved in here?
It's possible for me to kind of track through my data, whatever. If you want, I could send you email if you get a business card and all that. I'm happy to help you because, I was trying to help a person too. On the one hand, he's a unique kind of individual, eclectic and all that. Interesting guy and intelligent. But he had these troubles apparently and I witnessed it myself. I believe in Los Angeles they are prejudiced against him, whatever. But in hindsight, he's got you could say like a mental disorder, whatever. I don't want to judge him, but in hindsight, when I step back from it, he brought a lot of it on or maintained a lot of it himself. Then when he came out, he was at a point where he's like, Joseph, they're going to kill me, and I can't go back to that house where I was at. Okay, so there's some truth to all that. So okay, I didn't invite him here, I didn't, but it was like a last resort sort of thing. But okay, whatever. I thought he was going to park on the street.
Okay.
No, he pulled right in here.
So,
but I gave him refuge.
So you guys met at this? Let me just.
But he misbehaved, and he's an intelligent guy. I thought, okay, he's suffering PTSD, whatever. I just had my way of dealing with him. But at the same time, he was not welcome to come in the house or whatever because of his behavior.
I understand. So you met several years ago.
Yeah.
At a job site in Pepperdine.
Yes.
Pepperdine? At the University of Pepperdine.
Correct.
Okay.
In Malibu.
And you guys became friends or acquaintance or?
I don't know if those are legal terms, but I'm just speaking loosely with you. I want the best for everybody, but I realize he's got a legal problem and he brought that on himself, and I need to protect my family. But everything I say, you say, are you friends or this? And I don't mean to be evasive. I'm just thinking it out myself. Am I a friend? We're friends. Had some common interests. At one point he mentioned to me, we're sitting together, and he says, you know what? I noticed that house belonged to a friend of mine. It's up for sale. He says, Mark Forrester would never sell that house as long as he lived. No way. He says, something's wrong. He says, I knew some wrong things were happening there. He's disappeared. I said, well, I'll help you find him. I'll do what I can.
Are you talking about the residence next door?
No. There's a property in 2200 Nichols Canyon Road in Hollywood. So on the basis of this that was to help a person I didn't even know. I said, I'll help you find the guy. Turns out I was able to track down some phone numbers. He called the guy. He's living on the street or whatever. The guy is older than Mark. Richard has known him for years.
Okay.
Richard was a common, make the long story short, me and Richard were made property managers of this property. People were trying to do a fraud on it.
Okay.
We took Mark down, Richard took Mark down to Norwalk, got the fraud, they checked his fingerprints, everything. Said, okay, we're going to correct the grant deed.
Okay.
Okay. So Mark said, because there's corruption, gangs there. So anyway, that's what brought him out.
So you guys end up together.
He didn't take advantage of the calmness, the peace, the respect.
So you allowed him to stay on your property. Is that correct?
I didn't throw him off. I didn't have any power to do anything. Let's put it that way. But I didn't invite him. I didn't say stay as long as you want. None of those things whatsoever. But it was like giving a man refuge. If somebody's sleeping huddled up in a blanket in the rain, I'm not going to kick him.
So you're saying that he stayed here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying you gave him.
I'm not trying to be evasive. I'm just trying to make sure nothing gets misconstrued where it makes this point or that point.
Did you witness any incidents between him and your neighbors?
Yes. Yeah, he's a maniac for no good reason. He got this fixation in his mind, and in hindsight, I realized what's going on. The guy always has to have some kind of enemy, and whoever his social people are, like his friend, like me, he's always got to keep referring back to this. And out of nowhere, he said, "That guy's a drug dealer. He's got BMWs. What he's doing is posturing. Is this what they do? They're fluffing. He's trying to get attention and show that he's the big." It's like a fantasy. I never argued with the guy. He's the kind of guy, if you argue with him or challenge him, there's no winning. So I figured, what can I do for this guy? He's intelligent. I have some respect for him. I will allow him refuge, a place for him to think what the hell he's saying, and maybe he'll calm down. Maybe he'll see the truth. And he had a little bit of that happening, but then he'd snap back into it and became a psychopath. He gets this fixation that the guy, and one day I was sitting in there with him, out of nowhere, he just jumped up like angry. He says, "Drug dealer!" I mean, screaming as loud as a person possibly could, and he's an expert at this. It's his behavior. His mother confided in me things about his behavior as a childhood. So let me just say, he was screaming as loud as a man could. Was
your neighbor outside when this happened?
He was going into the car or whatever, and he's drug dealer. And then he comes out of the RV, and then it was terrorizing the guy really, and the guy left or whatever. There was a little confrontation. He was terrorizing him, and there's just no way you could put it. I think that's why I don't argue with him. I don't challenge him or anything. I'll listen, just like a friend. I'll listen. That's all I can do.
Understand.
And he continued with this thing.
Do you recall how long this lasted?
Oh, this went on for months and months.
Months and months?
And even when he calmed down, it was...
And when I say months?
I think he lost track himself of whether he was just speaking to me about it, what he thinks and believes, and then he crossed the line and just went to challenge him. It's like schizophrenia, you know what I mean? And then at other times he's talking to me, confiding in me, and I don't even know if he understood what he did to the guy. But then it became he had a war going on. Now it's like he's got the war, and he's continuously talking about it, referring to it, and you know how many gallons of urine he was storing up in jars and bottles. Maybe you have incidences around town at, say, a bank that starts with the America, where somebody may have dumped such things. The guy is vindictive and vengeful. Even if it's like and I'm a human. You know, you got brothers and sisters. You ever fight? You know, but it's a juvenile. He's not healthy in the mind. His behavior, he doesn't control himself in a way that's conducive to society. You know, so and I tolerated all this because I believed, okay, he's an intelligent guy. At some point, he's going to realize he's screwing himself with all this. It's like closing in on him. But anytime he needed food or something, if he ran out of money, I'd say, "Do you need anything?" You know, it's just like I was raised with good morals.
So, to go back, so you said for months and months.
He started becoming angry at me if I didn't jump and run him to the market. He became furious. And then in that last month, when he went silent for a month before you guys served a warrant on him, there was one day his sister sent him $300 on Zelle to me, and apparently I didn't check my app fast enough and get back to him. And then in the morning when I woke up of a long day of work, he's screaming at me saying, "Send back my sister's money so that we can figure out another way to get it to me and not deal with you." That's when I knew he was insane. In other words, his sister bends over backward to send him money. Then he wants me to send it back to her so that she can find out that he's insane.
All right.
And then I realized he's dangerous. At that point, I said, I'm not going to speak to him. I'm not going to look at him.
Why'd you realize he was dangerous?
Because you bite the hand that feeds you. When he started screaming at me, and then the night before, I was trying to fix up this plumbing. I've had so many interruptions in my life. Finally, I'm dedicating to getting this house fixed up. And he's one of the interruptions. And I just said, I'm going to fix the plumbing no matter what. And I ignored everything.
Did he ever threaten you?
Yeah, because I'm familiar with his lingo and whatnot. And on that last time I spoke to him, he was saying, "You need to send back my sister's money now." You want to see all the text messages? I'll forward them to you. He says to me, "What's wrong with you?" He's insane. He says, "What's wrong with you, Joseph? How will I explain your behavior?" It's like he's talking about himself. He says, "Are you on meth? Are you on coke?" And he just goes from one thing to another, like 30 messages. He said, when he used the phrase to me, "Things could get ugly. You need to send back my sister's money now." When he says things could get ugly, I've seen him use that term before in connection with other things, and then in confidence mention other things, what he wants to do, and this guy Fedita, who in Los Angeles, Richard sprayed pepper spray on the guy. The guy came to the gate of the house where we were doing property management. He's got this, again, I'm not realizing it's a psychopathic thing where he creates the battle.
Okay.
So anyway,
let's do this.
He basically created a false narrative, and he attacked the guy. Okay, and that's why he got arrested later. But so when he says things could get ugly, it means he's making me a target.
Let's do this. I may have some additional questions. I'm gonna go back to my desk and I'll give you a call. Okay.
Okay, and I'll mention one more thing too.
Yes.
I spoke to his sister several times, but right now I'm not responding to her in any way, shape, or form because I realize he's like speaking through her. He's called me continuously. I never
From the
answer
jail?
his calls. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I went just to be a good soul. Maybe I should. I said to her, I'll get some of his personal things, anything that might relate to your family, that so it doesn't become trash. I pulled those things out. As I was doing that, I found more ammunition in there, like 22
Where are they at?
Stinger or PCI ammo. They're the kind with the little blue capsules and the BBs. It was just in that RV. I found them. Maybe your guys, when they did the search warrant, they found something and then they stopped. But there was more in there. Maybe it still is. I don't know where the RV is. She told me, she said, "I want to keep it for him." God only knows how much money she spent to have it. I surmise that she's having it kept for him, and now she's calling me. I need to arrange to get his stuff.
Well,
there's no emergency for his stuff.
Understood.
And I can't be manipulated. I'm just healing from all of this. You know what I'm saying?
I understand, Joseph.
But
So
forgive me. I'm a jabberjaw, and
it's
I
okay.
just want to give you anything relevant. And I'm not a vindictive guy.
I understand.
Really, I wish he'd just repent or whatever.
Definitely. All right,
that's
Joseph.
all I hope for him. But now I have to do my civic duty to protect our community.
And I appreciate that.
I'm so ashamed for what he's done to my neighbor. But thank God they're such great people. Even they don't hold it against me. But oh my God.
Thank you. Well,
and every time you guys came here, I made it a point, like I'm going to tell you now, you guys are fantastic. You're exemplary in your behavior, your professionalism. Obviously, the character of the people they hire is...
Thank you, Joseph.
And the people, I have to say that.
Thank you, Joseph. I'll call you if I have any further, and you can send me some text messages.
If you ever need my help for anything, whatever, you can ask me. I'm just like, he asked me for help. Now, you can ask me. Joseph.
Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate it.